So today what we're going to be doing, we're going to be talking about ratios and how you could represent them with a model. Sometimes you could compare them by colors or you could compare them by shape, but you have already done some understanding ratios. So this should help you come up with equivalent ratios. Now, equivalent ratios is the same as solving for equivalent fractions. So hopefully this would be easy for you, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how to represent ratios in a model. So we're going to go into Braining Camp. So go ahead and click on that from your portal. And what you're going to do, you're going to go ahead and go to the color tiles. So this is what we're going to be using for our ratios. Now, the color tiles is going to be the different colors that you have here. So then I'm just going to go ahead and start putting color tiles here and then showing you how to represent an equivalent ratio for that. So let's start with the first one. So I'm going to go ahead and put a blue one and then keep putting blues. So I'm going to put 3 blues and then I'm going to put 2 greens. So in order for us to write a ratio, all we have to do is go ahead and create a table or a T chart in order to help us. So this is going to be blue and green. So I'll just put B or G. Now in this case, I have 3 blue squares compared to 2 green. So the way you would read it is 3 to 2. Now, when we're working with ratios, you could also find equivalent ratios. So say, for instance, I add another group of 3 blue and 2 green. So now in this case, we have 3 to 2, but now we're going to count all the blue squares. So now you're going to have 6 blue compared to 4 green. Now we could continue doing that and adding 3 more blue. If I fit it in here, I'm going to fit it in there. And then 2 green. So now you're going to have 9 blue squares compared to 6 green. So if you notice, basically all we're doing, the blues were skip counting by 3 and the greens were skip counting by 2. Now, in order for us to create shortcuts, we call scale factors. Now, scale factors is basically the number you're multiplying with. So for instance, to get from 2 to 6, my scale factor is going to be times 3. And if you notice, because I went 2 to 6, I want to see if it's the same for this one. So 3 times 3 will give us 9. So this is the way we represent ratios. If you notice, we have our colors here, but I'm looking at equivalent ratios and we continue doing that. Now, I'm going to want you to predict if I have 18 green squares, how many blue squares will I have? So what you do, you need to look at the scale factor. So what we coming, since the original was 3 to 2, that's what we started with. We're gonna go from 2 to 18. So 2 times what gives you 18? So my scale factor is gonna be times 9. So that means 3 times 9 will give me my answer. So 3 times 9 is 27. So that means I'm going to have 27 blue squares if I have 18 green squares. So what we did a prediction using scale factor. So let's look at another example. So I'm going to clear the board. I'm going to move this up here. Oops. How do I move this up here? Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the board and I'm going to start with red squares. So I'm going to start with 2 red squares and give you 4 red squares. I mean yellow squares. Okay, so again, we're going to create a table. I could get this marker. Okay, we're going to create a table and we're going to get red to yellow. So red to yellow, we have 2 red to 4 yellow. So that's my ratio, 2 to 4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add 2 more red. And I'm going to put them together and 4 more yellow. So now my scale factor, or my ratio is going to be 4 to 8. So here, my scale factor from here to here is going to be times 2. So that means I know that my scale factor from the first ratio to the second ratio is times 2. And from the second to first ratio to the second ratio is times 2. So we know that 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 2 is 8. So if I wanted to make a prediction and I had 32 yellow squares, then how many red squares will I have? So again, we look at our scale factor. So our scale factor is going to be from 4 to get to 32. I know it's going to be times 8. So 2 times 8 will give me 16. So that means I will have 16 red squares. Now I'm going to show you something else that I want you to understand, because it's something that you could do also when you're working with ratios. Now if you notice, we went from the top to the bottom. So that is within. So that's in between. So when you're looking for that, it's in between, but you could also find a scale factor within. So if you look at it, 2 times what gives you 4? That's going to be times 2. Now, if you find a within the ratio, that means it has to be the same. 4 times 2 gives you 8. 16 times 2 will give you 32. So in between, you could find a scale factor, but you could also find a scale factor within. So make sure that you are looking for scale factors either going down the table or between the two ratios. So this is just another way to find a scale factor or find a missing number for ratios. So today what you're going to be doing, you are going to have different shapes and different colors. So the different shapes and colors, all you have to do is you're going to write the original ratio. So if I give you 2 to 1, let's just do 1. So 2 to 1, okay? So again, that's going to be 2 blue to 1 red. Oh, I should have put blue and red. Hold on, let me erase that. Okay, so let's do it in black so it won't get confusing. So blue to red. So you have 2 to 1. So again, we're gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna go put another equivalent ratio. What I'm gonna do is I want you to make a prediction. So if I have 10 red squares, how many blue squares will I have? So in this case, you would need to go and find a scale factor. And there's 2 ways you could do that. You could do between, which is 1 through 10. So from 1 to get to 10 is times 10. So in this case, 2 times 10 will give you 20. Or you could do between or within, sorry. So this is between, this and within is from left to right. So for that one, we're going to go ahead and look at it. So from here to here, I could go divided by 2, or I could go the other way around from here to here is multiply by 2. So you could do it either way as long as you know which way you're going. So since I had 10, then all I have to do is multiply this by 2 to give me 20. So find those scale factors, find those relationships, because that's going to help you with your assignment. Now, your assignment is going to have colored tiles or colored shapes, and then you're going to fill in the table using scale factors. So all you have to do is just fill in the table, and that should give you a grade. So good luck on your assignment, and hope you understood ratios. Bye bye.